This story goes way back to when scientists started thinking the world would end by 2036. Rising pollution, scorching heat, drying oceans, and toxic air, everything pointed in that direction. But they were wrong, because the world had already ended 14 years earlier. Year 2036. Location: London. In the silence of this ruined city, we see a girl named Jade, trying to make the world normal again for her daughter. Today's her daughter B's birthday. They're celebrating this moment with her father Arjun, in a world that's not the same anymore. The real reason behind all this was a deadly T-virus that turned 90% of the planet's population into zombies. Over the last 14 years, zombies acted pretty much the same. They were vicious but couldn't use their brains, and Jade saw the same thing today. After reporting it to her base, as she stood up to leave, her hand got cut on a sharp edge of a container. The smell of her blood instantly caught the zombies' attention, and they charged at her. Jade ran for her life and made it to a place protected by their security system. Right then, a zombie grabbed her. She somehow killed it, broke free, and hit the button. As soon as she hit it, a circle of fire formed, keeping her safe inside while the zombies outside burned up. Jade took a deep breath, and then the ground started shaking. Suddenly, a massive monster burst out from under the ground. Jade ran like hell, but the monster bug chased her down and slammed her hard on top of a car, knocking her out. Just then, a gang with guns showed up and unloaded bullets on the monster, killing it. When they brought Jade back to her senses, they noticed a tattoo on her arm that told them she was one of the survivors from Raccoon City, someone the Umbrella Corporation had been after for a long time, which meant Jade could be valuable to them, so they took her as a hostage. The story now cuts back to the past, year 2022, 3 months before the world ended. Jade was 14 and had just moved to New Raccoon City with her dad Albert and twin sister Billy. Every week, their dad would take their blood samples, for a much bigger reason. He was secretly injecting his daughter's blood into himself, but both girls thought he was just keeping track of their health. Who knew? The downfall of the world would start from this shiny, glamorous Raccoon City. Back then, Albert had created a drug called Joy for the Umbrella Corporation, a drug that had some terrifying side effects. In Tijuana, 4 or 5 doctors had already died because of it, so Albert wanted to improve it before pushing it to market. But Umbrella had already made ads and stuff ready, and they weren't backing off now. In the present, when Jade woke up, she was at a scavenger base in Brighton Freehold. After Umbrella City fell, a few survivors were left, and Umbrella had put a big bounty on their heads. That's why the scavenger leader, Tate, made a deal with Umbrella to trade Jade for money, but he had no clue how cunning and selfish Umbrella really was. As soon as they found out where the scavengers were hiding, Mr. Baxter's military squad stormed in by helicopter, and within seconds the whole base turned into a war zone. Bullets flew, the place shook. In the chaos, Jade saw a chance to escape, and she ran. But even after a long chase, Baxter finally cornered her. On one side was Baxter and his soldiers. On the other, a massive crowd of zombies. And stuck in the middle was Jade. That's when Baxter said, "Your sister's been asking for you." But Jade didn't listen. She ran, and without thinking, jumped down. Below was an old bus, surrounded by hundreds of zombies. It looked like there was no way Jade could make it out alive. But just then, Baxter ordered his men, "Get her alive!" He actually had strict orders to capture Jade alive. His men started firing at the zombies to protect her. And right then, someone showed up in a jeep to rescue her. It was the same guy from Tate's crew who had a gun pointed at Jade not long ago. Fighting off zombies, Jade somehow climbed onto the jeep and they drove off. While escaping, they came across a narrow tunnel with rusty, sharp iron pipes at the entrance, sharp enough to rip Jade apart. Seeing that, Jade kept screaming, and just when they got to the mouth of the tunnel, the guy finally stopped the jeep. He was about to point the gun at Jade and explain his plan, but before he could say a word, zombies attacked and killed him. Jade broke the sunroof, climbed inside, and ran over zombies as she drove away. The story cuts back to the past, where we see Jade's sister Billy, who had gone to their dad's company. There, she saw some rabbits being taken down in cages. That moment left her shocked, because she was a vegan and deeply cared for animals. Their dad had never told her that the company did testing on animals. In fact, there was nothing about it online either. That's when Billy and Jade made a plan to uncover Umbrella's secrets. Billy knew the main entrance had a voice security system. Other than that, no guards. Everything was automated. So Jade quietly stole her dad's phone and security badge, and both sisters took off on a scooter toward the company. Once they reached, they used their dad's phone to open the main gate. To hide their faces from the cameras, they wore headlamps. As they went in, Billy remembered the rabbit was taken down to level B4 in the elevator. They got to B4, where they saw a bunch of animals locked in cages. Billy started taking pics for proof, while Jade opened their dad's computer. In it, she found footage from Tijuana, where some doctors were attacking their colleagues like wild animals. Umbrella's army was seen shooting those out-of-control doctors. Jade was focused on the video, while Billy found a high-security box and opened it using their dad's badge. Inside was a dog, and it jumped at them in a flash. As it attacked, chaos broke out and the emergency alarm went off. All exit doors locked. Now both sisters were trapped with that vicious dog. Suddenly the dog lunged at Billy and started tearing into her. Jade quickly grabbed a fire extinguisher and beat the dog to death. But by then, the dog had badly wounded Billy's shoulder. In seconds, Billy started losing consciousness. It looked like she was gone. Seeing her condition, Jade sat there crying. In the present, Jade had reached Dover. All security here was under Umbrella's control. Guards were everywhere, and Jade had to sneak past them to get to Calais. For that, she needed the right guy. She found him and made a deal. The boat was leaving tonight, and she was desperately waiting for it. Back at the lab, something unexpected happened. Billy suddenly regained consciousness. At the same time, their dad showed up. First thing he did was freak out and ask if the dog bit her. Hearing that, he instantly sent both girls home through the back door and strictly told them not to visit any doctor. When Jade asked why, her dad snapped at her. Then he deleted all the hard drives from the computer so no one would ever find out what happened. He even wiped the blood from the floor onto his face and clothes and waited for the Umbrella team to arrive. When the team got there, Albert told them someone had hacked their system, which opened the dog's cell, and that he had to kill the dog in self-defense. Evelyn, the boss of Umbrella, also showed up right then. They investigated a lot but couldn't find out the truth. Fooling everyone, Albert rushed back home and told his daughters the dog was sick and was being treated. Then he firmly said that no one should ever know what really happened there. Jade asked in shock, "Why not? And why aren't we taking Billy to the hospital?" Albert explained, "If Umbrella finds out, they'll arrest us. That building's got top-secret government projects. If this leaks, we might never see each other again." That's when Billy and Jade promised Albert they'd keep the secret between them. The next morning, Albert checked Billy's wound again. It looked fine now, just made her feel a little nauseous. Meanwhile, Jade was secretly searching the internet for Umbrella's hidden info, but every site she tried was blocked by Umbrella's firewall. Finally, Jade asked for help from Simmons, the son of Umbrella's boss. He went to school with her and was a skilled hacker. In exchange for Jade's necklace, Simmons unlocked one of the blocked posts. What they read freaked them out. It talked about a guy who got bitten by one of Umbrella's lab animals and then started going nuts, biting other people. Jade immediately messaged the writer, Angel Rubio, and told him a similar animal had bitten her friend. A few minutes later, Angel called back. He said that changes would start showing up in the body 36 hours after the bite, and he wanted Jade to record those changes to help expose Umbrella. Just then, the principal spotted Jade, so she had to head back to class. On the other side, Billy was actually getting worse. Even her dog started barking at her, like something bad was about to happen. In the present, people had gathered at the Dover docks and the boat was about to leave. Somehow the news reached Baxter. He immediately sent in his drones, and in no time, they opened fire on the crowd. Panic broke out. People started running everywhere to save their lives. Jade ran too and managed to hide somewhere. That's when she noticed a little kid stuck in trouble. Jade saved him and hid with him inside a nearby room. From a hole in the wall, she heard Baxter talking to his team. He told one group to stay at the docks and sent another toward the woods. He wanted Jade no matter what. The kid Jade saved. His parents showed up. They knew of another way out of the city. They met a group of opportunistic smugglers and traded some jewelry and a jeep for a way out. They weren't the only ones. Lots of people were trying to escape Umbrella. Back in the past, more than 15 hours had passed since Billy got infected, and now blood was coming out of her mouth. But when Jade asked, she said she was fine. So Albert didn't push her and went down to the basement to look for a cure. His first trial failed, but after a few attempts, he got better results. Meanwhile, Baxter tracked down the smuggler who helped Jade escape. There, he spotted her jeep and figured out what happened. It didn't take him long to reach her. They were stopping vehicles and pulling people out when suddenly clickers attacked. Bullets started flying everywhere. The whole area was crawling with clickers, picking people off one by one. In the chaos, one smuggler found a service tunnel and led Jade's group inside. For a while, it was safe, and they might have even found an exit ahead. But that's when a giant spider killed the smuggler. That's the thing about the T-virus. If a small animal gets infected, its cells mutate fast, and it grows into a giant monster. Seeing that creepy spider, the rest of the smugglers bailed, but Jade didn't panic. She shut the door just in time and crushed the spider underneath it. Then she found out the kids she saved had already been infected a day ago. That's why his parents were taking him to the Brotherhood. They'd heard they had a cure. Jade told the woman, "There's no cure. You have to leave him here." But the woman refused to listen, so Jade left them behind and moved ahead. As soon as she came out of the tunnel, Baxter was already waiting for her. He was just about to catch her when a bullet hit him in the shoulder. The Brotherhood had snipers hiding nearby. They took down Umbrella's soldiers and captured Jade too. On the other side, it had been over 33 hours since Billy got infected. She had started seeing things, and loud sounds and sunlight were bothering her now. That's when Jade told her everything Angel Rubio had said. If he was right, Billy would hit the breaking point in 36 hours. But Jade didn't trust a word Angel wrote. Billy said, "If I've only got 3 hours left, I'm not going to sit around waiting to die." So Jade took her to a party where a bunch of school kids were gathered, acting wild. Meanwhile, Albert's 345th test had also failed, and he knew exactly what that meant. In the present, the Brotherhood had taken Baxter and Jade to their base. They'd set up in a bunker where about 300 zombies were locked up. Jade was shocked to see some of the zombies working, and they were all being controlled by one female zombie. Jade was convinced that one day the virus would evolve and give them the ability to think. The very next moment, both of them were brought in front of the Brotherhood's leader. As soon as they met, Baxter threatened him, "Let us go, or your whole base is done for." Hearing that, the leader's men beat him down to his knees. Before they could attack Jade, she said, "I'm not with Umbrella. They're after me because I've been researching a cure for the T-virus," and the leader said, "It can't be stopped. It's a curse from God, and the ones still alive have been chosen by God." Hearing that crap, Jade punched him hard. After that, they were both locked up. Baxter said, "That punch was solid. You're just like your sister, who can't wait to see you." Jade replied, "My sister died when she was 14. I don't know who you're talking about." The story then shifts back to the past. Simmons had shown up at the party too, and Jade got so caught up talking to him that she totally forgot about her sister. Everyone else was waiting to see Billy perform. Seeing that, something snapped inside Billy, because when she only had 3 hours left to live, her sister was busy with someone else. In the present, Baxter asked Jade to help him escape from jail. They made a deal. If they made it out alive, Baxter would set her free and tell Umbrella she was dead. Jade agreed and helped open the gate. The plan worked. Baxter killed the guard and freed his soldiers. But getting out wasn't easy. Guards were everywhere. That's when Baxter had an idea. He opened all the jail doors so the zombies would get out and attack the Brotherhood soldiers. Taking advantage of the chaos, Baxter and his team fought their way through the zombies. In all that action, Baxter got so into it that he completely forgot about Jade. She slipped away behind his back and ran to the other side, where she ran into the leader again. Jade asked him about the female zombie that was controlling the others. The leader freaked and ran off, saying, "She's the queen of the zombies. There's something around her neck. Maybe that's what gives her power." Jade stood there thinking for a second, then cut off the queen's head and ran off with it. A moment later, a swarm of zombies surrounded her, and there was no other way out. That's when she found a grenade in a box, used it to blow her way out, and escaped again. Further ahead, she ran into Baxter, who had found a way out. Dodging zombies, they ran for that exit, which turned out to be a ladder. Jade jumped and climbed up just in time, but Baxter ran out of bullets and got taken down by the zombies. Somehow, Jade made it out of the bunker alive. Back in the past, Angel Rubio showed up at that student party. He asked a guy about Jade Wesker, but the guy thought he was a cop, and right after that, all hell broke loose. In the middle of the chaos, Jade and Angel Rubio saw each other and instantly recognized one another. The next moment, Jade grabbed Billy and hid nearby. On the other side, Albert was driving around, looking for his daughters everywhere. But Jade was stuck dealing with Angel Rubio. Angel came looking for them, and when he didn't find them, he shouted, "The person who got bitten is in danger." Hearing that, Billy came out because she wanted to know everything. Angel told her that the virus attacks the brain directly and turns the host into a terrifying monster, but Jade didn't believe a word of it. So to prove it, Angel told her about the old Raccoon City incident. Everyone was told it was a gas leak disaster, but the truth was totally different. The T-virus had broken out there, infecting thousands of people. To hide this horrible truth, the US government and Umbrella Corporation teamed up and nuked the whole Raccoon City. Angel didn't want that same thing to happen again, so he planned to interview the infected person and expose Umbrella. Then he dropped a shocking truth. Jade and Billy's dad had actually died back in 2009. While talking, he noticed Billy's wound, and the next moment, both sisters took off running. That's when Umbrella's people showed up and arrested Angel. In the present, Jade had also been captured, and the one who caught her was none other than her own sister Billy. Turns out, Baxter had a chip in his shoulder, which made it easy to track his location. On the other side, Albert kept looking for his daughters, but they were nowhere to be found. That's when Evelyn's security chief came to meet him. Apparently, Angel Rubio had given them some sensitive info about what went down in the lab that night. He knew exactly what happened with that dog, but still refused to say anything. Albert rushed to the company headquarters, where Evelyn told him to get the truth out of Angel. There was a special drug that made anyone spill the beans like a parrot. Albert met Angel, but ended up giving him an overdose, killing him on the spot, so that none of the secrets could reach Evelyn. Angel Rubio was dead, and Evelyn couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Billy got a message from her dad. It was more like a riddle, something only Billy and Jade could figure out. When they solved it, they found a letter that mentioned a bag. Inside that bag were fake passports, cash, and everything they'd need to escape the country. But neither of them could figure out why their dad was doing all this. That's when Simon said that every Umbrella house has a secret basement. Maybe the answers were in there. Simon kept guiding them, and they finally found the door, which opened with their dog's paw print. Once inside, they found a file under Billy's name. It had all the records of changes happening in her body after the infection. It said the virus was currently slow acting, but in 72 hours it would fully take over. Once that happened, she'd have to be isolated and restrained. They also found a video in the computer of a girl named Lisa, who was infected with the T-virus and had a giant eye growing out of her back. Dr. Albert was seen doing tests on her. Seeing all this, Jade realized they needed to get out of there fast. But before leaving, she made one mistake. She tried to steal the hard drive. As soon as she disconnected it, an emergency alarm went off. Doors locked, and all the drives burned down. That's when Albert showed up. He got into an argument with his daughters because Jade had started believing their dad was behind all these experiments. When Albert started yelling, both daughters knocked him out and tied him to a chair. When he woke up, Billy angrily said, "This chair was meant for me, wasn't it? You wanted to tie me up." That's when Albert finally told them the full truth. The dog that bit Billy was infected. Umbrella had been testing a new drug called Joy. If someone took a high dose by mistake, it would infect their body with the T-virus. This virus changes every single cell in the body, takes full control of the host, and turns them into a monster. But Billy was still fine, so they thought maybe her body had fought off the virus, something they'd never seen before. Albert suspected it might be because he had genetically modified his daughters before birth to make them stronger than normal. Still, the danger wasn't over, and Albert was the only one who could help Billy, so the girls decided to untie him. Back in the present, Umbrella had taken full control of the bunker. Billy asked Jade to come with her and offered a way to escape, but they had to play it smart. Jade had to punch her so that Evelyn would think Jade attacked her and ran off alone. Jade threw a hard punch at Billy and then escaped with the zombie queen's head. Their hideout was a massive ship, and to get back on it, Jade had to go through strict security protocol. She passed the process and after months finally reunited with her family. This ship had an entire city built inside it, with every possible facility and all the comforts they needed. Finally, Jade tested it on the zombie head she brought with her, but it failed badly. That means now she had no way to kill the virus, and now they'll have to spend the rest of their lives on this ship.